let's get this started. Here we go. Let's I need to make sure that I didn't leave that secret in here before I put this up on the screen. Let's see. Good, didn't put it in there. Alright. Recap where we're at. Oh, we should update our stream title. All right, let's see. So, last time we were here, can I zoom out of this little? There we go. All right, we created this app. Super useless app. Infinite storage of monotony. All it has is 2 pages, a login page and a root page. Login page should be the only page you can reach when you are not authenticated, and the root path should be the only path you can reach if you are authenticated. So that means we're blocking login and we're blocking the root page in different scenarios. So we have achieved that end goal, if I'm remembering correctly, using Savvy. And Savvy just did what it's supposed to do. It was really all the other stuff that was hard to work on. I'd like to slim this down, I think, at some point. Having to handle all this stuff in the callback page kind of stinks. Yeah. There's probably a better way to do this. Like, there's probably an option here that just says, give it the real stuff, but I don't know what Savvy will do if we do that, and then potentially get a none option or something. Alright, so we got all that. Log out by going to /logout, I believe. Yep, /logout logs out the user. We could probably make a link on both pages that does that, just to make it a little more straightforward. Or sorry, we could put the link just on this page. So if we come back to not our error page, something has gone wrong. Nice. Login page, nope, main page, here we go. Alright, so what do we need? Got our linear gradient on our body. We've got an H1 that says all the wisdom in the world. Oh no, this is supposed to say infinite storage of memory, monotony. Infinite storage of monotony. Cool. Header rule. And then this nonsense. Alright, what are we gonna put in here? Or where are we gonna put this link? Feels like maybe I just want it to be up here. That seems like the easiest place to put it. I guess I could just put it right here, though. That's even easier. Let's do that for now. So we'll give an A tag. We'll give it some attributes. Let's do a href. And that will be /logout. It can be relative or absolute, whatever. We'll give it some text that just says logout. Put a semicolon at the end. Alright, so if we do in build, sec, camel landing. And then we come here. Oh shoot, we gotta log in to see that page. Let's temporarily take that. Let's see, none redirects to log in. Oh shoot, ads. Okay. None redirects to log in. And we cannot do that, I guess. No, that's gonna be. We really need to move this session or this middleware into a scope route down here. Let's do that really quickly because then it'll be easier to disable it. Is there an example with scopes in it, or do I just need to go read the docs? Nope. Alright, well, we'll read the docs on scope. Group routes under common path for prefix and middlewares. Middlewares are run only if a route matches. So there's our middleware. These are our handlers. So right now this is how it looks. These are our handlers. We're just using essentially just anonymous functions. So we can do let's see, really it's just this one that needs the, well, I guess these all need the if you're logged in don't be able to go here ones. No, this one should be up here because that one you should only be able to reach if you actually have a session. These ones should not be reachable if you do not have a session. So we can do do I have to do scopes have to be different? Can I do scope / for both of these? That'd make my life a little easier. Let's try it. Dream.scope. Yep. We'll call this /. And we'll give him, this is where our middleware will be, and then we'll put these inside of an array, or sorry, a list. Like that, cool. Okay, I think we can just do the same thing here then, maybe. We'll see. Alright, so they've each got the same scope. Can I have more than one scope? I'm not sure. Yeah, not sure. We're gonna find out. So we do those scopes, then we need an actual middleware. So let's just steal. We're basically just doing this, right? We need the request. How is request handed to these middleware? To apply middleware without prefixing routes /. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Okay, cool. I should have just kept reading. Scopes can be nested. Not necessary here. All right. Sorry, I realize this is probably really small. Let's see. Dream.scope is the main form of site composition. Interesting. Dreamo supports full subsites with ***. That's not what I'm looking for though. So this is dream.scope, yep. So does it say how the middleware? It does not say how the value is passed. I guess I'm just gonna assume actually let's come here. Go back to the GitHub in this one. Is there a thing in here for, oh man, it's gonna take forever to find it in here. Okay, we're just gonna test things out. We're gonna wing it. All right, so let's grab this. Let's say let auth middleware, the naming. Auth middleware. Actually, let's just paste this here. I don't know what it's supposed to return. Maybe we come look at middleware. Middleware is a function to take a handler and run some code before or after and produces a bigger handler. Love that. User-defined middlewares. Count requests. Inner handler request. Okay, so it takes the handler and the request. In case you remember one of the example middleware, count request takes 2 arguments, while it types this should take only 1. It's because middleware handler, middleware request response. Handler request response. That it doesn't really tell me why I asked that question though. Let's see. Memory sessions. Example 2 middleware. Okay. Show me the code. Where's the middleware? Middleware. Oh, I forgot to post on social media. Good enough. How is this middleware? Middleware is just a function that takes handlers and wraps them, producing bigger handlers to do a little bit more. This example takes the handler from hello and wraps in one of the most useful middlewares, the logger. Okay. More middlewares we stack it up like this, the more parentheses and indentation we'll end up with. To keep code tidy, we use the at. Standard OCaml operator for calling functions without parentheses. So the actual code in this example looks like at dream logger, at handler. Okay, that's not much else. They're really just functions, so you can create them anywhere except example counters was simple custom middleware. Okay, custom middleware is closer to what we want. Where's the count requests? Okay, so that's this level. Inner handler and request. So we're always going to get an inner handler. Oh, so that's like, okay, so the inner handler operates just like Express.js's next function. Make sure my mic is working. Okay, good. So we want to say if we got a value, then we want to, we need to go handler and handler request. None. Then we want to redirect. So we'll just grab this whole line, just drop this here. What's that? Constructor expects 1 arguments, but is applied here to 0 arguments. Are you sure? Oh, right. No. No, it's sure. Cool. Alright, so this is our auth handler, and then we'll just do unauth handler. Unauth middleware. Perfect. So this is now none. And this is now some. We'll do it like that. Alright. So here we have a handler that does literally nothing. No, I'm just kidding. This handler will return any logged in users to, oh, this should go to slash, huh? not login. That would be a problem if we unauth middleware. Right, so auth middleware, if they find logged in, pass it, let continue on, otherwise go to login. This one, if we find logged in, then we want to return them to slash to the main page. If they are logged in, we want to return to the main page. And if they're not, then we should continue them on to where they were going. In this case, it'll be login. So now for any logged in users to... Wait, does that make sense? Yeah. The names for these middleware are terrible then. Let's call them redirect on auth. Nope, that's not going to work. Check for logged in. What is it? What does this actually do? This says return unauth to login, and this is return auth to main. Right? Because we have logged in, then we're going to send them to main. Otherwise, we're going to let them go where they're going, which will be like login. Alright, so we should be able to do return unauth to login. So this should be used. Let's do a doc comment here. Used to gate auth required routes. And then this one is used to gate. Used to prevent auth users from returning to login. Okay, so we should be able to do return unauth to login. We should be able to pass that to our these guys. Okay, and then return auth to main should be able to be applied here. Okay, assuming all of that works, then we should be able to. So let's start with main. Let's just get rid of this. I don't want to do that there. Whoops, nope, we still need that. So main page there, so then we don't need this anymore. And we don't actually need that anymore. Okay, we can do the same thing for a log. I actually didn't check, so I guess that doesn't matter. We do have to pass the request to logout though, because that's gonna have to like invalidate the session and all that. And then login and GitHub callback. Login for sure. No, GitHub callback uses the request for other stuff. It's not doing the check, but login, yeah, it's checking for logged in. So we delete those. Delete these. And then we come up here and we get rid of this request necessary. And then we come back down here, all the way down. And we replace this with that. And we get rid of that request that's necessary. So then let's see if we can build. Cool. Volcano landing. Okay. So we refresh, and this still appears to work. We come back to main, and it works. Okay, cool. Now we need to see if the other side works, which means that I'm going to have to briefly take this off the screen. Go to main, see secret. Let's grab our text editor. Open notes to myself. Grab the secret key. Okay, let's try again. Do and build. Okay, do that. Refresh this page. Again, let's test. Can't go to main. Good. If we go to log in with GitHub, that's gonna make me log in with my phone. Oh, nope, it's just gonna work. Okay, I've logged in most recently enough, I guess. All right, so now we're in. Now can we go back to login? We can't. Good. All right. Cool. And if I click log out, it will take me to logged out. I feel like this should probably just take me to log in instead of keep me on this page, right? Now if I go here, now if I go to log out again, it won't keep me there. I wonder if we could do like a let's take the secret out again really quick. Oops, didn't mean to close that, whatever. I wonder if we can look at a redirect. I wonder if there's like a timed redirect. Maybe we could do like a countdown. This part doesn't seem necessary. Where was our redirect code? Let's just come grab that. Redirect to login. Come back here. Let me do don't need that anymore. Invalidate session, redirect to login. That seems better. I don't feel like a logout page makes much sense. We live in the 21st century, right? Okay. All right. So now we've got basic scope, dream scopes. We've got our authenticating middleware, unauthenticated middleware. We've got a logout function. Got extra space here. We've got our GitHub callback page. I don't love how verbose this is. That's something we could probably work on, but for the most part, it's not too bad. This is all of the savvy stuff from this route. It just needs a configuration object, and then it generates a URL, and then you use that URL wherever. Sorry. The callback, unfortunately, has a little bit more, so all of this is savvy. Well, technically just this is savvy, and it just returns this, but yeah, you have to have a code and you have to have a state, because that's the second half of the OAuth flow, right? It's going to be passing back a code value, and it's going to be passing back the state value that you passed it, and so you have to get both those things so that you can check to make sure that the state's valid, that you're not being man in the middle, to check that your code is valid, because that's how you get your token. Now, what do our tokens look like? I was going to use the GitHub callback page. We should probably store this token in like in the session somewhere. See what kind of stuff we get. Here we're just setting the session field to be logged in. We could do more. I'm not sure what kind of token does GitHub return. I don't remember. Authorizing OAuth apps. This is big. Why is this small? Alright. Login, scope, state. Yep. They're redirected back to the site. And they give you a code. You can send it here. which is going to give me an access token, a scope, and a token type. Okay. Let's see if let percent LWT blah equals string dot set session field, upset session field. On request, we'll set access token, and we'll set it to token dot access token. Good, good. So I'll have the access token so we can actually do stuff. We should probably grab our scope as well. We'll get this, we'll call it, we'll just call it scope. Scopes. And scope. Expression of type string option. Oh, right. Wait. What? Huh. String option, you say? So you could have none. What was that one-liner? Oh, we might need to update that too today. OCaml unwrap option option.val, was that it? Option.val. Oh, dot value. Value, oh, default. If v is, default is v, if o is sum, v and default otherwise. What? V and default? Where's v in this? Some v is v. Yeah, some v really is v, you know? Let's putz. Here we go. We got token scopes. Let's do option dot value. This expression is type default. Default. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's see. This expression has type a B option. Yes, I'm aware of that. I'm familiar. To result. Oh, I guess I can convert it to a list. What's this? Hey, option A list? No, I don't want that. Why is default not working? Option value. Is default supposed to go after? Well, left the space on the wrong side of that. Unbound value default expression has type string option. Oh, okay. Definitely not on that side then. Unbound value default. Oh, wait, what happened if I took it out? Expression has type default string. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm just doing my, hold on. Is that it? No. Has type dream request string unit dream.promise. Apply too many arguments. What are you talking about? Syntax error after unclosed parenthesis. Okay, Option dot value OCaml. Do. Why is my computer taking off? I don't want to do a match. That's just so much. That's option dot get. Let's just use that. Get option. Get O is V if O is some V, and raise otherwise. Invalid argument if O is none. That seems very brittle. I love it. That's definitely going to be a problem eventually. Alright, so we got our scopes, but whatever. Got our scopes, we need our token type. I don't think token type can ever be anything but bearer. But whatever. We'll grab it. Token type. And we'll say token type. Okay. Redirect to main. Maybe we pass the request to main after all and let main display like the username or the scopes available or something. Because we don't actually have the username. We just have whatever this access token is, which is just apparently looks something like this. Oh, use the access token, access the API. Make requests to the API on behalf of a user. I really just want to get the user's information. Yeah, boom. Revalidate the user's identity. The user can change which account they're signed into when they send it. GitHub OAuth app ID token. That's right. You got an response. The API doesn't support OpenID Connect for social login. Here's their full response. Thanks for reaching out. Well, 2.0. So does that support for OpenID Connect? You can refer to this right app. I do not have a social logon using. Yeah, okay. Cool. We're trying to figure out this. It's not right up an explanation to save future developer time. Man, just out here saving the world. You only follow this guide. Okay, application flow. Servers and the device flow from the application we deployed on our client's computers. Here our client secret. GitHub's guide doesn't mention the steps below because that guide is not intended specifically for implementing social login. But to get social login working, I also do the following. Create a user database table. Okay. Okay, so you're just tracking everything yourself. Create an OAuth token database, store a copy of all the GitHub access tokens. That's bad. Shouldn't do that. Example auth tokens table schema. Yeah, again, don't love that. At the back end, send the front end the user the GitHub access token for to present future requests as an authentication mechanism. Add middleware. Okay, this is a little bit better. Yep, that's the reason why you don't want to do that. Set back here, just run a session cookie. Yep, there you go. Good, okay. Well, good to know that he figured that out. Clarify some vocabulary. I don't care. Okay, so basically GitHub's not the right way to do social login, which I guess we kind of already knew, but anyway. Let's see. Let's come back over here then. And we'll just continue on anyway. Alright, so we're going to get our access token for the user. Maybe there's an OAuth endpoint. GitHub API. Is there one that lets me get the user's information directly? Quick start? No, I don't think so. Just take me here. Nope. Discovering resources for a user. How do I get user information? Popular. GitHub API, get user info. For users, okay. Get the authenticated user. OAuth app tokens and personal access need the user scope in order for this response to include private profile information. Fine, cool. The endpoint works with the following fine-grained token types. GitHub app user access, okay. So this is the tokens. This will be our bearer token. And this is what the response will look like. ID, login, node, grab avatar URL, followers, just start, repos, nothing really dangerous. Name, okay, cool. So we got some interesting things. We got the name, so we actually could just do this on login, just do a second step to retrieve this information. So let's see, I'll do that in the callback page. So we got all this stuff. I don't know why, I don't think I care about that, but whatever. This automatically redirects us. But I think we want to make another request. So let's see, how do I do that? That is a very simple way. I guess that's the more acceptable way. Make an HTTP GET request using co-HTTP. Performs a request to a given URL, handles a response, returns a result type OK with the response body if successful, or error with an error message. Yeah, alright. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? I need to make a post request though, right? Isn't that what this said? I need to... Oh no, it is get user with authorization header. Okay. Let's see. This does not add any headers. That's probably okay. I don't think I have this co-HTTP LWT Unix installed in this app though. opam install co-HTTP LWT-Unix. Unknown. Okay, already installed. So we come to main. Should we need bin/dune. Got Savvy, TyXML. Actually, we don't need Dream HTML anymore, do we? I think we took that out. Or we did now. So we need, these are not uppercase, co-HTTP, LWT, Unix. Is that what I need? Not found. We use this one in Savvy, I'm pretty sure. Let's take me to auth client. Yep, that's the one. SRC Dune. Huh. Just use it? Seems unlikely. Auth client. Oh, right there. Okay. Yeah, right there. Oh, it's a library. Wait, where did I put it in mine? Did I put it someplace else? Bin Dune library. Oh, I just spelled it incorrectly? That's unfortunate. Actually, let's go ahead and keep these on a separate line now. It's going to make it easier to read long term. XML, co-HTTP. Okay. This expression has type dream request. Dream pure message type unit. Oh right, we updated that. So main page. So we still expecting a unit, I think. Yep, so we'll just leave this like this for now, because we're going to do it in login. Let's see, we're going to, well, let's just make sure we build now. Cool. Build. So we come back to main, we drop down to the callback. Yep, so we're going to do all this. And then we need to let star, come on, get the response and the body from co-HTTP LWT Unix dot client dot get. And we want this to be URI dot of string, and then we're going to do this. Where'd it go? Right here. Whoops, I got that in quotes. We need unbound value let star. Oh, okay. This is just LWT bind. Can I just do LWT.bind? Nope. Alright, we'll just do this up here. Let star will alias this equal LWT.bind. This expression has type blah blah blah. Expected to type unit because it's on the left hand side of a sequence. What? Oh, is it the? You're just mad about that? Okay. Semicolons, man. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. Okay, now we got these two, and we need to do some checking on them. Oh, let's just take all this. Just easier. So what we really want is for this to happen up here. actually don't really care about what comes back. I guess we do actually care about what comes back. Let's do shucks. I don't know what the, I guess I do know sort of the form of what comes back. Body to string. Yeah, no, it's a string. Let's just do print end line then for now. B. This returns a bunch of stuff. I guess here we just do return to login. Something went wrong. So just pretend it didn't. Just go back to login. Maybe we could do something like login question mark error equals failed user lookup. There we go. Alright. So what this is going to do is it's going to let us do retrieval. We're going to send a request, get request to the user endpoint. We still need to send a header because we have to send, where was it? Right here. We have to send this header. And I suppose we probably also want to send this header. So how do I do that? Get headers. Looks like headers and a URI. So it's a named value. So I do something like headers. Doesn't say what it's supposed to look like though. Is it like that? No. That value headers. Oh. Alright, we're just gonna cheat. Show me how to append headers to a GET request using the OCaml library. Perfect. I imagine it's probably just tuples, right? Maybe it's just like this, and I just do this. Oh, it's a header object. Okay. Well, that'll do it. So let headers call header okay, I bet you I need co-HTTP open then. Wait, I can just put it here, right? HTTP.header init, and then we're going to add some headers. We're going to say, why do I keep saying let headers, let headers? That seems unlikely. This doesn't feel right. Header.add headers. Oh, okay. We're just recursively sort of doing it. Except, and then whatever the value is, that's going to be this. Okay. This thingy. Drop that in there. Cool. And then it's going to be, actually get rid of that. Duplicate this. This one's going to be authorization. Authorization is going to be a bunch of stuff, but it's going to start with bearer. And then it's going to go token access, no, token dot access token. This expression has type header t, expression is going to type string. Oh, do I need to, yeah. authorization is going to be a bearer with our access token. Doesn't look like there's a colon needed there. So that's all of our headers. So now headers can just be headers? No. Wait. URI string get tilde headers. Nice. Okay. So we're going to pass our headers, get a response and a body, check the response code. We're going to get the code out of the response. We're going to pass it into this co-http.response.status, which is going to retrieve the status code. Then it's going to do a check on the code of status, and it's going to be either is success or I think is failure is the other one of code. And then it's going to do a check, and it says if, sorry, this is going to get the code of the status, which is going to return either is success or is failure. Then we're doing an if statement that says if it is success, if that code is a success value, then we're going to do all this. Otherwise, we're going to redirect to log in and say failed user lookup. This is our poor man's social auth. Okay. So let's make sure we build. We do. Now we need to put our secret back in. So we'll take this off screen for un momento, por favor. And we will put this back in. Bring this back. Dune build. Good. Dune execute. OCaml landing. Now we come back here. We say refresh. Refresh. Man, it refreshes so fast. Alright, so we click login with GitHub. It's going to do all that. And look, there's all the stuff. It's me. It actually worked pretty good. Got all the details that we'd want about this particular user. From a sort of social auth perspective, that's pretty decent. I feel like maybe I want to bake that into Savvy. Just have a follow-up request on the GitHub object that just says get user information. It wasn't super hard. Be easy to implement. And then we can create a quick struct for all this stuff. See, plan name. Oh, this really is exactly that. That's nice. Okay. Avatar URL. Yeah, this is just everything that you'd want for social auth. Okay. I think this does get added to Savvy. So let's cancel this. Let's take the secret back out. Main secret. Okay. All the way. Gotta harder. Alright. So we got all this now. Okay, so we want to recreate this. So let's come back over to Savvy. Actually, I also just noticed we vendored Savvy in here instead of installing Savvy, so that's kind of a bummer. I thought I installed Savvy, but oh no. No, computer, don't freeze now. Ugh. Well, my computer's gone Super Saiyan, so that's unfortunate. Ugh. Alright. Rebooting. Bah. That is frustrating. That's not the first time this happened either. I gotta figure out what's going on with this computer. Like, gets into some sort of a crash loop and it just dies. No, Now my monitor's probably all messed up too. Let's see, maybe. Yeah, it looks like it's messed up. When it dies like that, I'm gonna have to do a restart to get the monitor back. Slow your roll. Cool your fans. No. Okay. At some point we have to create like an actual website for Savvy too. Keep forgetting about that. Host the little demo and stuff. Don't steal my password. I also kind of want to like talk through some of my side project thoughts, because I'm looking at a new grilling side project. I'm going to be building a miniature smoker. The idea being that it could be a single serve smoker made out of ordinary things that you have access to on a regular daily basis. So it's just mainly using cans from other kinds of food. So more on that eventually, more on that to come. Alright, well, now that everything's toast, Savvy, let's see, development, OCaml landing. Okay, so we've got all this. Don't really love having to do that, but we're gonna have our own version of that in Savvy. Alright, so we need all of this. So let's... Wait, why is my fan speeding up again? I don't like this. What is running in the background? $58 megs. Okay. No. GitHub. Alright, so we've got all this stuff. I think we can create, where'd it go? This thing. Yeah, this goes to user. So then this is what our actual struct would look like. So we've got, where did our, yeah, right here. That's our token error. So token response. Let's create a user response. It does come back as JSON, I'm pretty sure. I didn't pay super close attention if it was correctly formatted as JSON, but I think so. So we can do type user response equals this, and then we'll have it deriving JSON. Cool. And then we're going to have all of these values, essentially. Ugh. Oh, too many things. Okay. Login is going to be a string. ID is going to be a number, I guess. Yeah. int node ID. I'm going to call that a string. This is going to be a URI. Do I use URI? JSON. Maybe. We do a nope. JSON URI.t. Gravatar ID is going to be, oops, a string. We'll keep that. This URL is going to be another JSON URI.t. And so is this. Maybe we clean some of these up that way there. It doesn't look so crazy. Why? Yoink. But yoink. But yoink. But yoink. But starred subscriptions. Just starred subscriptions. Just starred subscriptions. Okay, I thought I deleted one accident. I just want to be sure. All right, so this is the most time-consuming part of building a library. All these silly little things where I'm just like copying and pasting, but it pays dividends when down the road somebody's going to pick this library up, I hope, and build something with it, something cool. And then I'll be happy, and it'll all have been worth it. Type is going to be a string. Actually, this might be an enum. I don't know about this. We'll call it a string for now. This is a Boolean. What? Hello? Why am I deleting this? Site administrator. Okay, we'll take all of these. These should all be these guys too. Top string JSON cannot be derived for fully abstract. What? Oh, it's called type, but it needs to be something else. Syntax error after unclosed. It doesn't like the type. Wait, don't I have type somewhere else? I thought they could have type in them. Alright, we'll come back to that. This is a string. Yeah, string, boom. Okay, not sure. Company. Delete. Hireable. That's a good one. What does that even mean? Did anyone notice if I'm gonna have to go back and watch the Control V J. What's up, Lesby? Sometimes it's just cathartic to just do it the old-fashioned way. I gotta go back and watch the recording from before the computer crashed though and see if see what hireable was listed on mine. What is hireable? In this is this whether GitHub thinks you're hireable, or is this like a open to work sort of like LinkedIn shenanigans? Space. We're gonna have to fix all this too. Whatever. Alright, string bool. Company, this is a string. Blog, this is gonna be a JSON. Stop. Stop. This is a URL. How many more URLs? No. Okay. String. This is a string. This is a bool. This is a string. This is a string. This is an integer. Hopefully you don't have anything bigger than an integer. Integer. These are timestamps. I'm gonna call them strings though. I don't really know what type to make these. Private gists, int, total private repos, int, owned private repos. Disk usage, what's that even mean? Is that disk usage of GitHub? That's kind of interesting if I can see how much disk space on GitHub servers I'm using. Type GitHub plan equals name medium. Wait. Oh, I took the quotes. Why did I take the quotes off of that? Space int, it looks like. Private repos. This should probably int still. Collaborators int. I don't know that I actually need to derive JSON here, but we're gonna do it anyway because it seems fun. Alright, so now I gotta figure this out. I don't know if I can have type. I've been wondering if it's, what is this type actually even referring to as user type? User type, yeah, that solves everything. Two-factor authentication, oh, sorry. This should be bool. Okay, so this, comes from GitHub as type. Okay, we'll figure that user type thing out another time. Not here a whole lot longer. Alright, so this is our user response. We want to essentially add, basically what I'm doing is we built that demo app, and then in building the demo app we realized we should do some like social auth stuff. So part of social auth was being able to get user information, so we had to look up how GitHub does user information, and they really don't have they don't support an ID token. So instead, we've just got a follow-up call that we can create that takes the access token that we retrieved during the auth flow, and we hit this user endpoint, and it'll just give us everything about the current user, which is basically as good as an ID token. And so then on login, we can have we're going to add a function to Savvy that essentially just does that. So if someone needs their user's information, they can, after login, they can issue a follow-up, call a follow-up function that just gets them all the user's details. And it'll go here. Why is there no space between these? I don't like this. Oh, right, because it's a module. There should still be a space, though. We're not animals. Alright, get authorization URL. Exchange code for token. Where's the module? Struct. Can I go to the end? Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna do let get user info. How do I need the token. We'll just say token. Boom. Equals. I don't have any storage stuff to deal with, so we'll just do print end line hello token. And then we'll do token.access token. We'll put this in parentheses. I think there's a better way to do this thing. It's like the arrow, whatever, but alright, so that gets us user info. Then we come back over to here. I guess we can just straight up steal this stuff. We only need the token because we're gonna append that. Yeah, we only need the access token because we're gonna append that to the headers. So we need this stuff. So headers are going to create a new header object. We're going to do accept the GitHub JSON style. We're going to then add the authorization, which is going to be the bearer, which is going to have that token access token. And then we need to make an actual request. Do I actually, I feel like I make a request up here. What do I use? Client post. It's essentially the same thing. Except I'm doing all these extra fancy stuff. I could just use this sweet convenience function that this person built. I do love convenience. So if we do that, then when I come back down here, I can just do this. I don't know what I'm going to do with all this information yet, but we're going to just grab it all. We'll drop it in here. All right, so now it's going to make a request. Did you mean ref? Oh no, ignore that. All right, so now it's going to make a request. Sorry, right here. It's going to make GET request, passing these headers into the GitHub users API endpoint. It's going to retrieve the code from the response. It's going to get the status code. It's going to run the code of status helper function, which is going to determine if it's a successful status or something else. And if it's a successful status that we retrieved, then we're going to grab the string response body. And here's where we have to do some fancy footwork and convert it back into JSON. Don't need that anymore. Or do I need that? No, don't need that anymore. Syntax error. Okay, we got a couple other things. Got a lot of errors in my life right now, compiler. Go, wait, that error. Wait, why is this end here? Did I grab too many ends? Did I take this end? If then else. Yeah, got too many ends. That's why, okay. Alright, so we got get the user information, got the code. So here we need to do the same thing we did before, which is where we decode everything and convert it back to JSON. So post body for string. GitHub doesn't do. I wonder if I can send that header. Oh man. I wonder if I could have sent that accept header of that specific JSON, GitHub JSON value, whatever this application vnd.github plus JSON is. I wonder if I could have sent that with this request up here, if this would have actually come back as real JSON instead of whatever this query param gobbledygook is. Dang. Oh well. We can revisit. Alright, so now we need to go to OAuth client, look at how we're unwrapping stuff, because I want to use the exact same pattern right here. Not that, right here. Okay, body JSON, let JSON from string. This decoder is created. Right here, this token response of yo JSON. So that's this. Where does this begin? Where does this end come from? Oh, way up there, okay. I want number 2, right? Yep, number 2. We need all of this. We already have our body string, because that's in here. So we want total response of your JSON. We want user response of your JSON. Okay, so this is going to get, our JSON is going to get from this body string, which let's rename this to be body string. That way everything kind of lines up, because B is just too small. Alright, so we're going to get our body string. Let's also format this so I can read it correctly. So we're going to get our body string. We're going to run it through our JSON parser. We're going to get the JSON. We're going to pass it into YoJSON to convert it into a struct. If it's okay, then it's a user. Return. LWT return, okay, user. Seems good. Otherwise, error. This is the error handling stuff. I don't really have a good idea of how we're going to do error handling stuff yet. So this is if success, if status code. We should just do an error handler down here as well. So I'm not going to do this. Definitely not going to do that. LWT return error is going to go here. I'm not going to be redirecting. That would be foolish. So now we actually do real error handling here, and this can be any string, I think. So this can be this else as if GitHub returned GitHub, let's see, failed to successfully retrieve user. Okay, because that's this error case gets hit if and when we end up not getting an is success code. Alright, otherwise we get all this. This is the error matching that we're doing down here. I don't know what kind of errors I can expect from this. Response schema. That's a status 200. I don't want to update the user. So I suppose this is also something that I'd need to do at some point. List users. Okay, there's a bunch of stuff I don't need. Response with public and private profile information. There's private information in there? I guess maybe email address? I didn't see anything that I was expecting people not to know. Oh well. We can't unwrap the user. Maybe we just do this. Failed to unwrap user object. Alright, there we go. So that gets us user information in Savvy. And it is now time for me to head up and eat some breakfast. So we'll have to leave it here. But everything still builds. No, wait, unused value, get user info. Well, yeah, of course. Get status. I'm the only one who works on this repo, but let's pull anyway. Good hygiene. Just the one file. Implement user info retrieval method for GitHub. Git push. Oh, it's broken now. It's not going to build, but you know, it's what it is what it is. All right, it's time for me to head off. It's been fun. Well, it's been fun for me. I don't know if it's been fun for everybody else, but have a good rest of your day, y'all. We'll see you on the flip side.